Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Los Angeles Rams beat the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. What a game today! The Colts take their first loss of the season. The Rams come back from a terrible, what we saw last week with being up 26-7. That was such a terrible loss, and the Rams have a good comeback from that this week, beating the undefeated Colts. Look, I was still impressed with the Colts. I know the Colts lost this game today, but Daniel Jones still played great, and this Rams defense is really solid, I believe. And in this game, honestly, you could have seen Daniel Jones continue to, what we saw was Daniel Jones continuing to play well, but we could have easily saw Daniel Jones go back to his old self of New York Giants Daniel Jones. But what we saw today was Daniel Jones playing great football, and who knows? The Colts probably win this game if Adonai Mitchell doesn't make a terrible mistake like he did. And so the Colts didn't lose this game because of Daniel Jones. They lost this game because Adonai Mitchell wanted to celebrate before getting into the end zone, and also the fact that penalties killed the Colts in this game, defensively and offensively. So Dan Jones played one hell of a game. Just the defense for the Colts really played terrible against the pass today. Stafford and this Rams offense killed the Colts defense today, and that has not been happening a lot for this Colts team so far this year. But let's see if the Colts can bounce back next week. But this was a great win for the Rams, 27-20. Let's go to the scoring summary. Josh O'Carty with a 42-yard field goal to be the first score, make it 3-0. The Colts would then tie it at 3-3 with a 52-yarder. And Tyler Warren, the tight end, would have a 2-yard touchdown run and make it 10-3 in the second quarter. Carty would make a 37-yarder to make it 10-6. Then right before halftime, Matthew Stafford connects with Devontae Adams for 10 yards on a touchdown and make it 13-10. And Daniel Jones throws a 2-yard touchdown pass to Michael Pittman Jr. to make it 17-13. The Colts extend their lead in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes left to 7 with a Schrader 38-yard field goal. But then Stafford connects with his favorite man, Puka Nacua, for 9 yards to tie the game up at 20. And then unbelievable, I think probably one of the best plays of the day you're going to see is Matthew Stafford with a minute and 33 left on the first play of the Rams drive for 88 yards connecting with Tutu Atwell. Stafford threw touchdown passes to all three of his wide receivers today. Matthew Stafford threw 375 passing yards, 29 for 41, and 3 passing touchdowns. I know this is kind of crazy to talk about with how old Stafford is, and I don't see a lot of like MVP favorites right now, like really emerging. Could Matthew Stafford possibly be in the MVP conversation? Like at different times so far this year through 4 weeks, I've looked at guys like Justin Herbert and Jordan Love and think, oh yeah, these guys should be favorites. But then you see the way Herbert played today against the Giants. You see the way Jordan Love played last week against the Browns. Josh Allen has played good. I thought Mahomes played a lot better today, but it's kind of crazy to think, but like, could Stafford possibly be in the MVP conversation the way he has played through 4 games so far? I certainly think he has played well enough to the point where you could consider him in that conversation through week 4. But you guys let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Daniel Jones, I mean, look, yeah, he did get back on the interception side today, which is something he hasn't really been doing through the first 3 games of the season when they start off the season 3-0. But he still threw 262 passing yards and threw 33 passes, not even throwing 10 incompletions, throwing 24 for 33. Jonathan Taylor didn't play as good as he's been playing, but still had a decent game with 17 carries and 76 rushing yards. Kyren Williams for the Rams had 13 carries and 77 rushing yards. And Puka Nacua just continues to show why is right now, I believe, the best wide receiver in football. 13 receptions, like, that's just ridiculous. 170 receiving yards and a touchdown. Like, I think probably the most, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are probably the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. But to me right now, Puka Nacua is the guy that is playing like the best wide receiver in football right now. And then you have leader in tackles. Kroll led the Rams in tackles with 9, and the safety Cross had 14 tackles for the Colts. Going over some other stats real quick for both teams. You saw Blake Corum have 21 rushing yards for the Rams, Tutu Atwell, his only catch was that 80-yard touchdown, so his only catch was the biggest catch of the game. Devontae Adams had 4 receptions, 56 receiving yards, and a touchdown. He's been dealing with an injury all week and had a decent game. And fumbles, Kyron Williams did lose a fumble today, and that was recovered by a defensive lineman for the Colts. And you saw the lost fumble by Adonai Mitchell that was not recovered by a Rams defender because it was a touchback, because it should have been a touchdown for the Colts. It's terrible for the Colts right there. They did the same thing against the Broncos last year. And then interceptions today, as I mentioned, you saw Danny Jones throw 2 interceptions today. Well, both of them were to the same player, Cam Curl. That's it for this game. Great win for the Rams. You guys let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section, and peace out.